In this exercise, we're going to be discussing the assembly tool. The assembly tool is great for beginners. The idea behind it is Inventor wanted you to have a way to go in and quickly assemble things and add multiple constraints at once. It figures out what constraints will work the best for your part. So let's get started and take a look at it. You'll notice right away there's nothing to it. What I mean by that is the only toolbar you get is the mini toolbar. In contrast, the constraint, the only thing you get is this full bloated toolbar with all these options, which is very overwhelming to a new user. The assembly toolbar gives you basically the same options, but it automatically applies everything for you. Those of you who are AutoCAD guys, think of this as running O-snaps. Sometimes it gets it right, sometimes it don't, but it's a good start, especially for new users. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this face here. Notice it grabs the whole part, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to click on this face here, and I'm going to say apply. So Inventor tried its best, but it didn't quite get it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this hole here. I'm going to say this hole here. I'm going to say apply. And notice that my first part is still highlighted. It's because it's understanding that, hey, it's going to take more than one time to do this. So I hit apply. That one I'm going to say done, because now that's fully constrained. Now, in reality, I actually have this made in here. It's really extra. What does it take to constrain this part to this part in the fewest moves possible? That's the name of this game. And instead of clicking the whole part this time, I'm going to say assemble. I'm going to click on that hole right there. I'm going to click on that hole. Hit apply. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to grab the inside of this hole, grab the outside of that hole, hit apply. So now I've done the same thing with two moves. So the fewer moves, the better, the simpler your part. Say assemble, and then I could come in here, grab that, hit apply. You notice I can undo if I grab the wrong thing, or I can say okay to enter, and I can go through and do that again for all 6 bolts. Now, had I applied these with the Content Center or something like that, where these were automatically applied, then this would not be the better way of doing it. But because these were already in here, and for you, they're already going to be in here loose. So I want you to go through and apply all these bolts using the assemble constraint. And then whenever you get done, I want you to go and look at it. I want you to see how Inventor envisioned your constraints for you. Simple part like this, it does a really good job. Now, I'm not going to lie, on a more complex part, it has a harder time. It's just like any kind of artificial intelligence. Doesn't matter how smart the computer is, it can only do so much on its own. When you get done, you should end up with something that looks like this. Everything all tucked away, nice and neat, no offsets or anything. So you can see the constraint tool is much easier to use, much simpler, and I don't need to go on and on about it. So as we go through and assemble things, if I tell you to constrain something, feel free to use the assembly tool instead of the constraint tool. They're interchangeable. Constraint just gives you a little bit more control up front. Assemble allows you to do more with less. It's kind of your training wheels, so to speak. And once you get going and get used to it, assemble is actually better than constraint. I find older users who didn't have the assemble tool, it's only been around for a couple of releases, have a harder time using it. So it's better to start with that. My goal as a CAD manager had always been to save my users 1 extra click a day, meaning by the end of a year, I should be able to save them 365 clicks by making their lives a little bit easier. You think about it, you probably make a couple thousand clicks every day, if not tens of thousands of clicks on your mouse. So every click you can save really adds up over a year. Now, if you get paid by the hour, or if you have a boss that's really rough to deal with, you don't have to tell them that I saved you time. It just gives you more time to go get coffee and enjoy the day. Go out and check the news and CNN and Yahoo Sports or whatever you want to look at. But you want to speed yourself up. Anything you can do to save time, and the assembly tool is one of those tools that allow you to do that.